After almost 2 years, Elementary OS was updated to version 6.0, codename Odin. It has been a few years since I last checked on this Ubuntu-based Linux distribution, and there are quite a few improvements. The developers even call it the biggest update yet. With the imminent release of Windows 11 and macOS Monterey, and ongoing controversy around increased telemetry and content scanning, some users might be looking for alternatives. Let's see if Elementary OS is ready to be a worthy replacement operating system on MacBooks and PCs. Elementary is still pay what you want software, so if you want to try it on live USB first, you're free to type in 0. The website has a simple step-by-step guide on how to copy the ISO file to a USB stick using Etcher. To boot from this USB drive on a MacBook, you need to hold down the Alt key during startup and then select the drive. On PCs, it's usually the boot priority in the BIOS or UEFI that determines if the PC boots from the USB drive first. Installing Elementary works quite similar to other Linux distributions, but the setup has been significantly shortened and simplified in this new version. At this point, it is a lot simpler and faster to install than Windows with all its setup choices. The new Elementary OS 6 now has multi-touch support that very much reminds me of macOS. This not only works for application windows, but also for several other system elements, like dismissing notifications or swiping menus. I still love the design, and I think way too many open source apps and Linux distros underestimate the importance of a nice-looking user interface. The design is more customizable than in previous versions, and now, like many modern operating systems, it has a dark mode. One thing that confused me, and will probably confuse other new users as well, was the missing minimize button on Windows. Apparently, Elementary OS saves the Windows state and reopens apps instantly, so according to the developers, a minimize button isn't necessary. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have found this to be not true most of the time. It doesn't even work with the system settings. Yes, there seem to be several tweaks that you can install to get conventional window buttons, but I really don't understand this design decision. One of my biggest issues with recommending Linux for casual users always has been the process of installing new software. It always seemed to involve using terminal commands and a package manager, which seems to be way too complicated for casual users. Elementary has a built-in app center that is easy enough to use. A great alternative is the website flathub.org, which publishes many popular apps as Flatpaks compatible to Elementary OS. These files are natively supported and are as simple to install as they should be. Privacy and security is still strong. With the Flatpak format, apps are sandboxed and must ask for permission for access, for example, to files or the network. Wi-Fi did not work out of the box on my MacBook Air, but Bluetooth did. Apparently, I would need internet access to download compatible Wi-Fi drivers, which is difficult on a device that doesn't even have an Ethernet port. Maybe it's a copyright issue with proprietary drivers, which doesn't allow bundling drivers, but an operating system that wants to be a simple replacement for macOS really needs to have the basic features working on these devices right away. This means, unfortunately, Elementary OS, even after more than 10 years development, is still not at the point where you can safely sit down anyone in front of it and they are able to intuitively use it. I'm sure all these little problems can be fixed by a little online research, but I'm kind of disappointed that they're shooting themselves in the foot by immediately baffling casual users who expect the basics to work without much effort.